Well, Fox's Book of Martyrs, simply put, is just a recording of every what we would consider major accountable eyewitness account persecution. So what does that mean? Well, if you look at Stephen being the first martyr after the ministry of Christ, he would be part of Fox's Book of Martyrs. He's in the chronology. Numerous what we would call heroes of the Christian faith are listed.
So what are some of the offenses that are faith-based that would cause a person to have been burned at the stake?
One was reading the scripture in your own language. That was probably one of the most important reasons. Not paying penance, not paying a fine for a sin, not attending church, teaching your kids what your interpretation of a particular passage was. The biggest offense, without question, was the distribution of the scriptures in a language other than Latin. It didn't matter if anybody could understand Latin. It didn't matter at all. In many cases, mothers, influential mothers in a town, would be rounded up for one reason, because they said it was okay for their kids not to go and attend a mass that they didn't understand anyways. And they were rounded up and burned at the stake. I mean, burned at the stake. Now that's, if you're a mom, you're not going to put your kids at risk by telling them not to go to church unless you knew what the punishment was going to be. No mom wants to see their child burned. But there's many cases here where you see 12 and 13 and 14-year-old girls and boys being burned at the stake to be made examples of. Church control was out of control. Now, another reason for being burned at the stake was for not tithing. If a bishop knew you made so much money and he felt you didn't give that 10% or that X amount that he thought the church was rightfully owed, then the church, through a government agent, would go and seize your property. And if you put up a fight and you didn't amend your ways by giving what they thought you owed, they'd take you out and make an example of you and then take your land anyways.